Hello friends, now you have understood the distinction between gender and sex. Sex is a biological category and gender is a social construct. As the girls and boys grow up, certain qualities are associated with them by the family and society. For example, if we take the statement, they do not cry, we assume that this is a quality associated with boys and men. Thus, when small children fall or get hurt, usually parents and others in the family console them by saying, "Do not cry, you are a boy, boys are brave, they do not cry." Let us take another statement, they are soft and gentle. We assume that this statement indicates to a girl. As children grow up, boys and girls start believing in these traits. This becomes so ingrained in boys that they do not cry even if they are hurt or feel like crying. They stop themselves from doing so. Crying is associated to be a sign of weakness. They become scared of being regarded as weak by others. Similarly, girls are regarded as soft and gentle. If a girl is naughty, what is the perception of the girl? Thus, we fix people into one image and create stereotypes, but we need to understand that these are natural emotions and qualities which are present in all human beings. But stereotypes stop us from looking at person as unique individuals with their distinct qualities and skills. Let us do an activity from a textbook of NCERT, Social and Political Life. The students in the class may be asked to draw the images of the following: a farmer, a nurse, a scientist, a pilot, a teacher, a factory worker. Let us suppose it is a class of 30 children. After the students complete the task, the teacher may see what images the students of the class drew. Are there more images of men than women? In what kind of jobs there are more images of men than women? Have all nurses been drawn as females? If so, why? Are there fewer images of female farmers? If so, why? Why are scientists shown as males? Friends, look at the table. You may see that all 30 children drew women as nurses and 25 children drew men as scientists. The reason they do so is because they feel that outside the home, women are good at only certain types of jobs. For example, people believe that women make better nurses because they are more patient and gentle. This is linked to the role of women in the family. Similarly, it is believed that science requires a technical mind and girls and women are not capable of dealing with technical things. We all have seen India's rocket women putting a satellite into orbit around Mars. The Indian Space Research Organization has several women scientists working in key positions. In the same way, 30 children drew men as farmers. In reality, more than 50% of working women in India are engaged in agricultural work. Their work includes planting, weeding, harvesting, threshing, etc. Yet, when we think of a farmer, the images of men come to our mind. Let us do another activity. Many of the girls do not get support from families to pursue their dreams. Once the girls finish their schooling, their families usually want them to get married. At the same time, there are families even in remote areas who support their daughters in their pursuits. Some of the inspirational stories can be used as an exemplar. Here is a story of Lakshmi Lakra, an engine driver. It is usually perceived that engine drivers are men, but 27 years old Lakshmi Lakra from a poor tribal family in Jharkhand is the first woman engine driver for Northern Railways. Lakshmi's parents were not literate, but they struggled and overcame many hardships to make sure their children get an education. Lakshmi studied in a government school. She studied hard and did well and then went on to get a diploma in electronics. She then took the railway board exam and passed it in her first attempt. Lakshmi says, I love challenges, and the moment somebody says it is not for girls, I make sure I go ahead and do it. Lakshmi has had to do this several times in her life, when she wanted to study electronics, when she rode motorcycles in the polytechnics, and when she decided to become an engine driver. Her philosophy is simple: as long as I am having fun without harming anyone, as long as I am doing well and helping my parents, why should I not lead a lifestyle of my choice? Friends, it is important to understand that not only girls, but even boys face pressures from the society. Sometimes these come in the form of demands from adults. At other times, they can just be because of unfair teasing by their own friends. Boys are pressurized to think about getting a good job that will pay a good salary. They are also teased and bullied if they do not behave like other boys. You have already seen that how boys are told not to cry in front of others. Let us take a case of a boy named Aman. Aman was happy with the result of his class 10th board exam. Though his marks in science and maths were not high, he had done well in his favorite subjects, history and political science. When his parents saw his report card, they were not pleased at all. Here is a conversation between Aman and his parents.
My goodness, Aman, you have managed only 65% in maths? Your marks in physics are low too.
I know, Ma, but it's okay because I don't want to take maths or science. I want to study history or political science.
Why do you want to take history or political science? You have to become an engineer.
Think about your future. You have to get a good job. History or political science will not help. These subjects do not have much scope.
But I don't like maths or science. I don't want to be an engineer.
Be sensible, son. Your father is right. You should take maths and physics.
Oh yes, you can also study computers side by side. The job market for computer engineers is very good these days.
Nobody is thinking of my interest.
After listening to this conversation, there can be a discussion in the classroom on the following points. If you were Aman, what subjects would you choose and why? What are the pressures that boys feel regarding education? What are the pressures that girls feel regarding education? Why are such undue pressures given by the family? Let us take up another activity. What we commonly term as housework actually involves many difficult tasks. A number of these activities require heavy physical work. The main responsibilities of housework lie with women, yet the work that women do within the home is not recognized as work. It does not involve any payment and family and society devalues the work. Here is an example. Raman goes to a doctor. Let us listen to the conversation between the doctor and Raman.
Role play. Raman goes to the doctor.
Yes, Mr. Raman. What is your job?
Sir, I am a farmer.
Do you have any children?
I have 5 children.
Great. Does your wife work?
No, she doesn't work.
I see. So how does she spend her day?
Well, she gets up at 4 a.m. in the morning, fetches water and firewood, cooks breakfast and cleans the home.
Okay.
She helps our 3 older children to get ready for school and gives them tiffin.
Yes.
After that, she goes to the vegetable market with the 2 of our small children where she sells vegetables. And after returning from the market, she cooks the food.
Okay, great. So do you come home for lunch?
No. She brings the lunch for me to the field.
And what after that?
She stays in the field to do the weeding and waters the vegetable plants.
And what do you do after you reach home?
In the evening, I go to play cards and discuss politics with my friends in the village.
Oh, great. And what do you do after that?
I go home for dinner, which my wife has prepared.
And does she go to bed after dinner?
No, I sleep. My wife is awake, as she has to wind up the house until 10 or 11 p.m.
I thought you said your wife doesn't work.
Of course, she doesn't work, sir. I told you she is only a housewife.
Thus, friends, as we have shown here, gender issues need to be woven into teaching, learning and other activities of the classroom and schools through discussions, storyboards, motivational stories, role plays, etc. as shown here. Hope these exemplar activities will be useful for all of you.